Welcome to today's CT Style Express. I'm Natasha Lubchenko. Today we're discussing homelessness. It's something many people in this country and even our state face. It's certainly a struggle for all who experience it, but it can be especially damaging for young adults. Joining us now with helpful resources is John Lawler, Senior Director of Homeless Youth Programs at local nonprofit The Connection. John, thank you for joining us. Tell us about the START program and your mission.
Sure, thank you for having me. So the START program works specifically with homeless young adults age 18 to 24 all across the state of Connecticut. Homeless young adults tend to be one of the fastest growing demographics of the homeless population throughout the nation. But they do have specific needs that differ from what their more aged counterparts would be. In the most recent youth point in time count, which is where we get a sense of exactly how many young people are experiencing housing instability and homelessness, it was a projection of about 5,300 youth in that year who are experiencing some type of homelessness or housing instability. Now, that number usually shocks people that I talk to who live in Connecticut because you can drive around most communities at night and you might not see any homeless young person outside. But a big cause of that is that it's not their preferred method of going homelessness at that age. What we know is if they don't get some type of early intervention to help them resolve their living situation and their crisis, they will age into those who are staying outside more frequently. So more commonly, what they tend to do is do couch hopping, couch surfing, as it's called as well. So very short duration stays with friends, maybe family members, but never able to really create any stability. And so what the START program does is identifies them, helps them get connected to our services. We provide emergency crisis housing. We provide longer term housing assistance that helps them be able to rent their own apartments, learn how to live on their own, and be successful independently. And we do this over a period of from 1 to 2 years. With the overarching goal being to have them exit homelessness, not return back to homelessness, and avoid all those very other expensive state systems that we see with homeless communities, incarceration, hospitals, et cetera.
And now, John, you say a large percentage of homeless youth are part of the LGBTQ community. I think this is important to note. Why is this significant, and how does your program aim to help this population?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, especially with this month being Pride Month. LGBTQ youth are highly overrepresented in the homeless system. They have about twice the likelihood of becoming homeless than their non-LGBT counterparts. They're also we see a higher concentration of them, but not only that, they have a disproportionate experience while they're homeless. So LGBTQ youth are at twice the likelihood for early death. They go into sex trafficking, survival sex scenarios much more frequently than their LGBTQ non-LGBTQ counterparts, I should say. And so our program really put a lot of its services around what types of housing assistance and, importantly, what types of shelter would an LGBTQ young person actually accept? Because what we found was that the existing shelter systems, which are usually pretty crowded, lots of people there, they never felt safe with. And so they go for these higher risks opportunities for resolving their homelessness, like running the risk of being trafficked, et cetera.
Very important information right there. And now, how can people, if they know someone who needs help, how can they help them, reach you?
Absolutely. So the most important thing, happily, The Connection is not the only provider of homeless services for young people. There's about half a dozen others throughout the state as well. So the most important thing you can do if you know a homeless young person or someone who's unstably housed is contact the number 211. That is our centralized coordinated intake contact number for being able to assist young people experiencing a housing crisis. And we actually need the community's support getting that word out there because most young people don't know that.
Absolutely. I mean, I learned that today, so very important to get that out there. And now you do have an upcoming fundraiser. Quickly before we go, tell us about this.
Yes, absolutely. In August, we have our 5th annual golf charity event and encourage everyone to check out our website for more details on that. But of course, the funds that we get from that goes to programs like this. It goes to young people who are experiencing this. While we do receive some state and some federal funding to pay for stuff like rents, there's a lot of other holistic needs that need to be taken into account for, like furniture or pots and pans when they're in a place. These are things that the existing federal funding streams just don't cover.
All right, sounds like a great event. John Lawler from The Connection, thank you. And if you would like to learn more about this program and The Connection's upcoming fundraiser, visit theconnectioninc.org. Thank you for joining us for today's CT Style Express. I'm Natasha Lubchenko. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.